Hi, everybody. I just wanted to touch base with all of you as we get started in our first week. And I want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to understand exactly what's going on and feeling comfortable with what you're doing with a live project. So you should be able to see my screen now. And I just want to make sure that you are able to hear me okay. You might have to adjust your volume. But I'm sharing my current screen with you. And I'm in Moodle. And I just want to go through a couple things here with the course, and then I'll go through live projects. So here we are. I'm going to pause for one moment. Okay, I am back. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to list out here, talk a little bit about the news forum and the general discussion forum. So what would be really good is I'm sending out information through the news forum. What I'd like to do is I would like to send out items as well in the general discussion forum. However, you'll have to check your subscriptions inside of Moodle because some of you might have this shut off so that you do not get any general discussion forums. The reason I like this is that I can propose things to you and then you have some direct interaction that we're able to have with each other or other students if you have questions. In the news forum, I'm not able to have you kind of ask additional questions on a topic. So what I'd like to do is I will post in the news forum that I am posting something in the general discussion forum so that you can offset your subscriptions and make sure then that you can see the general discussion forum coming through, and then we'll be able to interact. You can ask as many questions as you want. I'll also be hosting a online cafe, if you will, on Saturday morning. I'll let you know what the time will be. And I just want to be available if you're working on your projects and you have some questions. So each week I'll try to be available to you through some type of a collaboration session. So now we move down into the syllabus, and here is a project management knowledge areas process chart. If you click on this, I put this on here for you so that you would be able to kind of see the life cycle of a project. And I think sometimes this helps solidify it in your mind as far as what it is and how the cycles work. I'm just waiting for it to upload here. It's just taking a moment. Okay. So this kind of gives you a 60,000 foot view of what it is that you're going to be doing. And so I love this chart. We talk about templates. Don't let that word throw you. Exchange template for tools. You're uploading tools so that we can see or identify if you're able to kind of cognitively, if you're picking up the pieces of this life cycle. So what we do is we have you work on one of the tools and use your project in each of these tools so that we can discern or measure if you are learning what this is trying to teach you. So don't let the word templates throw you. So our entire life cycle is going to take you through a template or a tool where you will apply each of these key knowledge areas. And by doing that, it allows us and you to measure if you're really understanding how to apply this process to a project. Now remember, a project has a beginning and an end. It's not an ongoing task. So let's use, somebody talked with me this morning about a renovation project. Somebody else talked to me about an initiative project at work. That renovation project can be utilized from beginning to end. It has a definite start and a definite end. It's not an ongoing project. So here you'll see the first thing that you'll start with is your proposal this week and also your stakeholder analysis. This process in and of itself, each week you'll take on 1 or 2 or 3 new tools that you will be applying to your project. And in this process, you'll see on the inner arrows that you're initially initiating and defining a project. What's that project going to be? What's the definition of it? And then we're going to be moving into planning. And these planning tools, all in the blue here, are helping you plan your project so that it can be the most successful. That's the purpose of these tools and this application. Then when you get off into kind of these lighter blue or purple, if you will, human resources, quality, and communications. That's when we've kicked off the project, we're executing it, now we're controlling it, and we're monitoring it. And then when we get done, we're going to go through an official process of closing it out. So this is the entire life cycle of the project management methodology, if you will. So this week we are starting in proposal and we're starting in stakeholder management. You are going to propose the project, and we'll go into the tool in just a minute, and then you're going to analyze your stakeholders. So you are in the process of initiating and defining your project. Now, if you're doing some of the reading in the Fast Forward MBA, it really will give you a much better understanding of what a project is. If you read it carefully, it explains how projects are different from tasks or ongoing tasks. So I just keep advising you to kind of go back and make sure that you've watched the Project Management Fundamentals on lynda.com, and also that you have read the Fast Forward MBA, because these chapters and the lynda.com videos will really kind of solidify in your mind what a project is and how to distinguish it from ongoing tasks. So even in that strategic initiative project, if you will, we might be working at a freestanding ER, and the triage area needs some new process flow, a better process or better flow of the patients coming in to the triage and exiting out into the ER. And so we can take on a project of process development to make it more efficient, to make it faster, more productive. And so that project would have a beginning and an end, and we would go through those intangibles, even though something like a process is intangible versus maybe having a project that's software development where we're actually developing a product. So if you just make sure that you have read these chapters and you watch these videos, I can guarantee you that the project, I think the idea of what it is and how to define it and how to pick out a live project will start coming to you. You'll start getting it. A live project is something that's current, it's something that's going on right now, and it's something that you can use right now to apply these tools. We want it to be current, and we want it to be simple so that you can get the hang of these tools and how to use them and how to apply them to any project. We don't want you to have to, let's see, how do I phrase this or articulate this? We don't want you to use such an overcomplicated project right now, such a large, maybe a 6-month or a year initiative, because the tools would get lost in it. I think it'll be too overwhelming. So pick something that's simple, current, and you're actively doing it right now. So then what you're going to do is you're going to go into doing Forum 1.1, Forum 1.2, your quizzes, and then you're going to get into your tools. I'm going to click on proposal, and I'm going to wrap this video up fairly quickly here since it's getting to be pretty long. The project initiation is where we are kind of looking at that initial project, and we're going to propose it potentially to our boss, to a new company, to a consulting client if we're an entrepreneur. There are many different ways that you can initiate this proposal and who you would be proposing it for. Right now I propose projects for my clients, and so I would be presenting this proposal to my clients. You might be presenting this proposal to a boss that you might have, or a program director, or a director in the ER, as an example. So you're going to list out your name of the project, and you're going to state your project goal. What is the goal of this project, and what is it that you're trying to accomplish? So if I use the renovation project, which is kind of a simplified project, the goal would be that we have the kitchen completely renovated. At that point, we have all the cupboards in, we have the new counters in, those types of things. If it's let's say it's software development, the goal is that we develop this new software and that we roll it out to the public. So you want to focus on what your project goal is. What problem or opportunity is this actually going to solve? Is there a problem that we're solving, or is there an opportunity for more revenue that we're taking advantage of? And then what is the proposed solution to that? What is this project that you're going to do, the solution that you're going to implement that will solve the problems or create an opportunity for more revenue? Try not to skip over project selection and ranking criteria. This is really important, and a lot of students do not fill this part out. The project selection and ranking criteria is important for this reason. If you have a client that you're going to, or a boss that you're going to, and they have limited resources and they have 4 projects in front of them, why would they pick your project over someone else's? Does it fit in? Is it a good portfolio fit? It fits in better with the mission and vision of the company? Is it urgent? It's something that's in process, like the ER triage flow, and we really need to resolve it immediately, so maybe there's some urgency behind it. Or maybe it's just an efficiency project and it's going to reduce some of our costs or increase our revenue. You want to be able to tell them why your project should be number 1. Why should it be ranked number 1? And why should they pick your project over others when they have limited resources? And then you're going to go into kind of the costs and benefits analysis. What is this going to cost, and what type of a benefit is this going to be to the company? So everything that you put in this proposal is extremely important because it sells your project to either your superiors or to your clients. And you want them to have a great proposal so that they will pick your project. So you'll list out business requirements and the scope. What are some major project activities? Pay very special attention to the scope and try not to skim over this area. The better job, the more, I don't want to say detailed yet, but the 30,000 or the 60,000 foot view, if you kind of lay out what are the major project steps in that 60,000 foot view, you're going to break down this scope later into much more detailed format. And so knowing what your scope is now will lay the foundation for a completely great project transition into all of these other tools that you'll be using. What are the major obstacles that you might run into? What are the risks? And what is your basic schedule overview? The better your proposal is, the easier this course will be for you to apply all of the other templates. So this is the most critical piece of laying a great foundation for your project. So what I want you to do is I want you to reach out to me if you have any questions. We're going to go ahead and we will have an online cafe on Saturday morning. So if you'd like just some one-on-one time with me, I'll be available for a half hour to 45 minutes. Just grab a cup of coffee, get online on Google Hangouts. I'll let you know what the time is later, and ask those questions as you're working through your projects. And if you have any other questions, you can always reach out and email as well. And you'll do your stakeholder analysis as well. You want to find out who are those important stakeholders of your project, who are those that can really help you push this project through, and who are those that might resist or have no buy-in to your project. So I wish you a great week. This is going to be an awesome start to some tools that are really going to change your life, because you can actually apply these immediately, both in your life and your work. So we'll talk soon, and I hope you have a great weekend.